and they told me, yeah, we're going to be open in 10 days, and then 10 days later, I was expecting their new restaurant to be open there, and it wasn't.
It isn't yet.
And what was happening behind the scenes is that the owners of Pommel Grill were fighting with their landlords, and I think they were barely breaking even, if that, in the location. I think the landlord had probably had enough of them, and the owners wanted to bring in another one of their restaurants, Squisitos, and I think the landlord said, no, that's not what we want here. And as I posted earlier, back in May, that they did finally open Squisitos in Crofton. They gave up on the Bowie location.
That's too bad.
Chose a Crofton location.
Well, but we could use some decent restaurants.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's. It seemed like that restaurant was always busy, so I was kind of surprised that we lost it.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. I had been there a few times, usually for political lunches, but the food was fairly decent.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you want to hit the photos?
Well, sure. Sure.
We will now present a plethora of fascinating photos.
All right.
I guess you can also find all of these on the blog spot, yeah?
You can. I think I have probably about 900 that I posted over the last year. And
wow.
We're not going to show that many today. And I want to get a kind of a sample of some of the things that we might post up there. A lot of times what I do with the blog is I try to post a lot of pictures, and sometimes I do writing, but especially when you're busy with other things, it's harder to write. Writing takes time, and as you know from writing a good story in the paper, you could spend 3 or 4 hours on it.
Oh, easily.
And with the pictures, you can spend some time cropping them and so forth, but it's not nearly as hard to do that, or time consuming. So what you actually see here is the main blog, the address main blog up above, and the Facebook page below.
Take note, people.
Operators are standing by.
Yes, operators are standing by.
The first picture here, this was actually from my very first post. My very first post was pictures from the Memorial Day Parade in 2009.
Who's that?
And this is Dennis Brady and his wife Kathy.
Oh, okay.
And one of the reasons I put this up here is that everybody knows that they're big dog owners and big proponents. I actually got fooled by this picture.
How?
And this is actually, I didn't realize it till this year, but that is not actually a dog, it's a stuffed dog. They have 2 stuffed dogs in the parade.
That's not a real dog?
It's not a real dog. So I posted, oh yeah, here's Dennis Brady and his dogs. They love dogs.
Oh my, you've heard that first on News and Views. Another scoop.
And if you zoom in on one of the paws, I think you can tell. But when you're busy taking pictures, you don't always realize
I thought it was real.
And so I posted that, and then this year, here, fast forward 1 year, here they are again in a different car, but they've got the same stuffed animals with them.
I'll be darned.
And this one, I think you can tell that dog doesn't look so real. Maybe it might be hard with the glasses there, but
yeah.
So I felt kind of foolish. Fool me once, shame on me, or shame on Dennis.
Yeah.
I sound like George Bush now.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Now here's just something that sometimes you're driving around town and you see something of interest, and this was actually in Greenbelt, and I came across this was actually a campaign to keep people from drinking and driving, and there was our chief Kathy Perez was in the picture, and she was there with a bunch of local police chiefs in the photo.
Okay. And
I thought, well, this is kind of silly. There's nothing. I like Chief Perez. I'm glad she's here. I think they're doing a great job. I thought, is this what's really going to keep people from drinking and driving? Is a picture of the police chief saying, "Don't drink and drive," especially when you can't even read what the billboard says.
No, you can't. It's confusing.
Especially when you're driving by. I think the speed limit's probably like 45 at that location. And now I drove by there yesterday, as a matter of fact, and there's a Hennessy billboard in this place now. So they've
well, that's upgrading.
A complete 180 from
don't
drink and drive to drink Hennessy. Now this is something I came across. You may have seen this yourself. There's a guy that lives on Bel Air Drive. I don't know his name, but I call him the Bel Air Drive blogger because he's basically blogging by putting signs out on his lawn.
Yeah.
Now some of the signs are a little bit crazy. I'm gonna go to my notes to tell you exactly what this says here. And he says, this one he's saying, practice birth control. It's plain common sense. Stupid is as stupid does. Your 5 minutes of self-gratification versus a kid for life.
5 minutes, huh?
5 minutes.
Oh dear. Well.
No comment there.
No. And this is on Bel Air Drive.
On Bel Air Drive. Now, he posted this last July. Since has other things in there. Now this one, he's talking about kids driving is his theme here. So he says, now that Maryland has passed your kids to get a license to drive, reality. They will drive like you. Ha ha. They will drive like cops do. Joke. They will drive like their friends do. Make sure you have enough common sense to teach them to always be aware of the stereotype drivers. We all know who they are. I'm not sure who they are, but he says you should know. So you might notice this is on Bel Air Drive, somewhere between Ken Hill and Route 450, and he posts every now and then. So this one I grabbed a couple of pictures. He also has some signs that say beware of the gun, and he has a sign that says I shoot to kill. So
really?
So if you stop to look at it, make sure you're quick.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to tempt fate.
All right, so I thought that was kind of something funny or noticeable. And certainly, this isn't something you're going to see in the Blade, and that's something that might differentiate what you might find on the blog. The Blade, or the Bowie Star. Now, this one, you got to tell me that you've seen this truck.
I haven't.
This is a truck on Stony Brook Drive. It's actually owned by a couple of realtors named the Alatas.
Oh, I have. Yes, I have. The ones that say they sell houses.
They're Thomas and Stacy Alatas. So what I couldn't believe is that if you're trying to advertise a real estate business, it didn't seem like this was the proper vehicle, pun intended, to advertise your real estate business.
No, not really.
So I wrote a post and jokingly said that New York has Madison Avenue, but Bowie has Stony Brook Drive. So this is where the advertisements take place.
Yeah, I had noticed that during my walks for energy, and I said, "Geez, that's bizarre."
And that truck is always there. As a matter of fact, have you ever seen the Google Street Views where you can go and you
yes.
If you go on the Google Street View down Stony Brook Drive,
that's there.
The truck is there on the Google Street View.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
It's always there. Now, actually, occasionally I see it driving around Bowie.
Huh? Maybe they use another car to sell.
This was a small one. Certainly we had a lot of snow during the winter time. This is Route 197 in front of Benjamin Tasker Middle School. Yeah. And this is what the state's paying for. The state's paying for these contractor plows to come down the road. The contractors, they don't want to wreck their equipment, so a lot of times I've heard they don't put their blades down. So sure enough, we're having a snowstorm. We got a contractor coming down Route 197 with his blade up.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I'm
sure that's not a county vehicle?
I'm no snow plowing expert, but my guess is the blade should be down at this point.
I would think so.
Just want to give that caveat.
This is a bit like Candid Camera. Oh.
Now this, I saw some other pictures on
Shortage of
Facebook.
Chickens.
This picture here, this was from the Marketplace Safeway.
Uh-huh.
And it was between, you might recall we had a couple storms back to back, a couple of big storms.
Indeed I do.
And this was between the two storms where we had a couple of days with no snow, but the delivery trucks couldn't get through. So here was the meat aisle at Safeway at Marketplace.
Huh.
Not much available. In fact, what is available you can't see from the picture. There were pig's feet and turkey gizzards. I think were.
Oh well, that makes a lovely meal. Yeah.
That's something that you might.
Actually, though, I do like pig's feet, pickled. Oh.
Now this one, this goes back to this is the Alata family again. This Thomas and Stacy Alata on Stony Brook Drive. Yeah. The same people that have the yellow truck that we saw a minute ago. Yeah. This was after one of the snowstorms. They put this prop in their yard. They thought this was funny.
What is it?
It's a person, supposedly a person coming out of the snow. Oh. So you see, it's a person upside down in the snow.
Oh, okay. Actually, I saw a couple of those around town.
This one was, I had taken this picture over the weekend, and then Joey Ello grabbed a picture of that as well, and it appeared in the Bowie Blade. Oh. What I didn't know, when I posted the picture online, and I found out from the Blade story, was that somebody driving by actually thought there was somebody in distress. And they called 911, and I thought it was kind of odd. When someone's in distress, you call 911, but first you think, well, maybe I can go help them.
Yeah. Get out of the car and go over to see if you can help.
Rather than wait the time for the fire trucks to arrive. But I think they took it down after that, even though it was funny, it was good for a laugh.
Well, my neighbor did something similar, and it looked so realistic. The first thing I did was run across the street. I thought the wife of the house had plummeted into the snow. I'm sure she thought that was very amusing.